wish it wasn't just the dark times bringing us together.
But it is friends like you that make those dark times worth having.
People still need saving.
When it takes all, let's get it on.
Stand back.
Come on now, let's rattle some bones.
We got this. We're a team.
Fate compelled me to bring you together.
They can't stop us, we're flying high. Undefeated, we won't be denied.
How did you do that?
I'm Supergirl.
You're who now?
We are victorious. We'll rise. We'll shine. We've got what it takes to be victorious. Oh, come on! We've got what it takes to be victorious. Let's go.
Think you can keep up, Girl of Steel?
Just you watch Scarlet Speedster.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So big news, they just dropped like a big teaser for Supergirl Season 2, Flash Season 3, all the stuff that's going to be happening with the CW DC TV shows next season. The reason there's not new footage is because all the actors are on hiatus right now. Stephen Amell, for instance, is promoting Ninja Turtles. That's coming out in June. So the actors don't go back to work till like the end of June, early July. They'll start shooting the next season. We'll probably see official trailers for all the different series by the end of the summer, maybe around Comic-Con time. So what's happening right now is they're presenting all this material to advertisers saying what some of their big signpost plans are. Like, look, this is definitely coming in the distance. We might not have all the details worked out yet, but this is happening. So what they talked about is a 4-night crossover, which I feel like we all kind of predicted was going to happen. You bring Supergirl onto the same network as 3 other DC comic shows that are already connected. Of course, they're going to do a big 4-night crossover. So what the schedule is going to be next season is Supergirl will still be on Monday nights, Flash will still be on Tuesdays, Arrow Wednesdays, Legends of Tomorrow on Thursdays. I don't know what they're going to do with Legends because it was only 16 episodes last season. Unless they change the episode count, they might do 8 in the fall, 8 in the spring, but it sounds like they'll all be airing concurrently starting in the fall. You know, like Arrow and Flash normally start that first week in October. That's probably when they're coming back. They didn't announce an official premiere date. That'll probably happen towards the end of the summer. They haven't started shooting yet, so like once they start shooting and they get a couple episodes in the can, they'll make the announcement on the premiere date. They haven't really clarified any details about how Supergirl is going to work with all the other shows because technically she's in a different universe. So what might end up happening, because we know Cisco on The Flash, so I'm going to be talking about the Flash and Arrow things going on this season, so just careful for spoilers if you haven't been watching The Flash. Cisco now has the ability to open portals to other Earths. He's not really great with it. They kind of explained in the last episode of The Flash that he doesn't fully understand his powers, so it's not like you could tell him, hey Cisco, open a portal to Bizarro Earth, and he'd be able to do it. He's not quite there yet. What they might do is find a way to create a more stable connection with Supergirl's Earth, unless they want to do some crazy earth-shattering thing where they want to combine her Earth with Earth 1. I don't know that they're going to do that because the logic is pretty outlandish, but I've learned over time that the Flash TV show is just fully committed to being as weird and amazing as possible, so I'm not going to make too many assumptions about what they're going to do with Supergirl's Earth in the multiverse. But remember, Superman exists on her Earth, so if they do want to combine Earths, then they have to find a way to explain Superman on Earth 1, because as far as we know, Batman, Superman, those people don't exist yet on our Earth. But because they did confirm 4-night crossover, and we have a Kryptonian, we have Supergirl, I think they can totally do Justice Society now. I don't think they'd ever be able to use the term Justice League just because of the movie things that are happening. But remember, Jeff Johns is one of the new Kevin Feige's of DC Warner Brothers films. So a lot of times, Jeff Johns in the past has been the person that they go to when they're like, hey, can we do this character on the TV shows? Is that okay? We want to change it just a little bit. So he gives approval for a lot of that stuff. So now that he's in charge of all of DC's films, it might be a little bit easier for the TV shows to do movie-type things. So I know everybody always wonders, when a big comic book character is killed off on the TV shows, is that because they're doing them in the movies? I think that'll be less of a thing in the future for everybody who's not like a marquee character. A lot of you have already started asking me about the Thanagarians in this war that they're doing on Legends of Tomorrow. Are they going to be the big villains of the Super Flaro Legends crossover next year? I don't know that for sure, but that does sound like a pretty easy slam dunk. So if you're not caught up on Legends of Tomorrow, careful for spoilers for that TV show. Right now, they've threatened that the Thanagarians are going to attack, and that's the whole reason the Time Masters were helping Vandal Savage, because Vandal Savage was going to help protect the Earth from this invading Thanagarian force. So the heroes on Legends called bullshit on that and basically destroyed the Time Masters' plan. So now the Thanagarians are free to attack Earth. So that's probably what's going to be happening on that show in season 2, but that also might spill over into the other shows. So think of it as a TV show version of Infinity War, where you just have like this massive war that threatens all of these different Earths in the multiverse. But we can talk a little bit more about that after the Legends of Tomorrow finale, which is tonight. So what's probably going to happen is that video will post tomorrow, just because there's a whole bunch of TV trailers for next season. So I'm going to be doing a Star Trek trailer later tonight. Be sure to subscribe to get that. There's a new Star Trek TV show being made by Brian Fuller. It's going to air on their digital service. So if that sounds confusing, CBS is kind of making their own version of Hulu to air shows on. It's like a subscription service. The new Star Trek series is going to be like the flagship show on that. So you'll be able to watch new Star Trek episodes made by the same person that makes Hannibal. There's like so many awesome Brian Fuller shows. I'm so excited about this. But I'll talk more about that when I post that trailer video later tonight. So there's like a whole bunch of stuff happening this week. I'll try to hit it all during the videos that I post. So I'm really excited about TV, and I'm really happy that Jeff Johns is now getting the credit that he deserves. He should be in charge of all of DC's films. He's the guy that when all the executives at DC want to do a character, or a producer comes in and is like, hey, I'm looking for a superhero film. What about this? This character is free. Jeff Johns is the guy that will go in and explain that character to all these executives who may or may not have read comics. That's kind of the thing that Kevin Feige used to do back in the early X-Men days at Fox. Like, he was involved with a lot of those early superhero films. Then they were like, hey, you know a lot about comics, and you're really good at producing films. Why don't you be in charge of all this? Thus, Marvel's Phase 1 is born, is incredibly successful, and now look at where they are now. So Jeff Johns is not Kevin Feige. He's a character guy. He understands characters, so he'll be working with a lot of the other film people just to make sure that they do the characters right. And that's really the most important thing. But he'll have like the highest level of authority, so like he could veto a Zack Snyder decision if he wanted to, just for reference. While you guys wait for my next video to post, you can click here for last night's episode of Arrow and Flash. I also had like a special, my gold play button in it. So if you watch that video, you'll see me, thank everybody for the gold play button. It's really cool. And thank you, by the way. You guys are amazing. And you can click here to learn about what's going on with Gotham and the Court of Owls. They're doing a lot of Batman comic book things in Season 3. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.